Welcome back to our next roundtable discussion program on Addison's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We've come to the end of April now, and Governor Pritzker has recently announced extending the stay-at-home order throughout Illinois through the end of the month of May. Additionally, it was also announced recently that all school systems in Illinois will not be coming back into session, into their regular sessions for the 2019-2020 school year. And that certainly is going to bring up a lot of questions, not only to the community at large, but certainly to parents and students as well. Well, we have our two school representatives who have come back to join us now. From Addison School District 4, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Kim Losey, and from DuPage High School District 88, Superintendent of Schools Dr. Scott Helton. So Scott and Kim, welcome back. This is it now. First of all, I think you both would agree, shocking news, but not unexpected news in most cases. I think for some time now, both of your districts, your officials have been talking about that. So let's first start now, Kim, once again with you. Even though the school year will not be going back into regular session, school learning is continuing, and there is an expectation that school work and school learning will be continuing as you have done since the e-learning has begun. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we are continuing with our learning activities. We have activities that are available both online and offline for our students. The offline activities are for students who do not have internet. All of our learning activities are mandatory, and we are asking our students and our families to continue to complete those activities until the end of the school year. Most of our students have been engaging regularly. We have a handful of students who have not, and so we are encouraging all students to participate in the learning activities. As far as grading goes, our teachers are assessing the activities. Offline packets are scanned to classroom teachers, which will allow them to grade and provide feedback for students. And then our online activities are also graded on a regular basis, and feedback is given immediately to those students. Students will receive a pass grade for students who are engaging the work and completing it to the best of their ability. For students who do not complete work, who are not participating, they will receive an incomplete. And we are looking into potential learning opportunities for them to complete that coursework at a later time.
What is the most important thing that parents need to know right now? If you could get a message out to them, which you can, what do you want parents to be sure that they understand clearly and that they are helping their students? Because the parents want the students to succeed.
Absolutely.
Just like the school administration wants to. What can parents be doing to help that success right now?
We want our parents to know that we are requiring the learning activities, and so we want them to help to develop some structure within their day for students to complete the learning. That may include helping them to sort out some time to do that. It may require them to help them get started or to help them on things that they're having difficulty with. If parents are having trouble, they can certainly reach out to their classroom teachers or the building principals for support as well.
And most importantly, again, to reiterate, the school year, as far as school learning goes, has not ended. It's just strictly that the regular sessions will not be continuing on at the school buildings.
That is correct. The learning is taking place at home, but we are still expecting that students will participate in learning as though they are at school.
What about parents who are concerned, gee, is my student going to be placed in the right math program when they get into the next school year? Or what if they're an 8th grader at the junior high school and they're going to be transitioning over to Addison Trail? Is my student going to be in the right science program? Will they be in the right math program? Is it any different than the articulation than the two districts have right now, or that elementary, grammar schools have rather, to the junior high school?
I know our curriculum committees are reviewing our scope and sequence, and so we realize that once we return in the fall that we'll have to do some assessment and probably do some reteaching of some important concepts that students may not be secure in after this school closure. I know the high school is looking into similar things as well, and I think as we look at placement, we're utilizing whatever benchmark assessments that we have already completed to help with those decisions.
So will they be testing then when they come over? If they're an 8th grader, for example, do they have to get retested, would you say?
Well, what'll happen is, you know, we expect a certain level of skills and abilities when you're in high school algebra, okay? So in the Indian Trail, Jefferson, Jackson, and Albright students are all coming next year, just like our seniors are going off to college. And what we're all doing is the first part of the year, the teachers are going to be assessing, you know, what skills and abilities you have, where did you come up short, Was there some regression? If so, let's work on those skills and then move forward. We'll be doing some summer school for our own kids because it's no different than a freshman going into a sophomore geometry class and us saying, you know what, we missed some of these, or we need to reinforce some of these skill sets. So you assess and then you move forward. That's where we're all going to be. The nice thing is all these 8th graders are coming together with kind of in the same condition. And it's the same thing with our seniors going off to colleges. They're going to go into those college classes under the same conditions, whether it's math, science, social studies. They'll assess and then figure out the direction.
There's an awareness of all of this that's been going on, that this was not done. I think, Kim, you brought it up in the last couple of times you were here. This is not the ideal educational setting. You wouldn't normally be doing this. You would be in the classroom, teachers, teacher assistants, everybody, all of your paraprofessional staff, everybody would be there. You don't have that right now. Right. And that's the unfortunate part of all this. So let's talk about Addison Trail now, Scott. Same rule for you at this point. The school year is still going on, even though students aren't coming back to session for the remainder of the school year.
Yes, we'll work through our school calendar. Our last day of school is May 22nd, so we will go ahead and follow the remote learning plan all the way through the 22nd. We ask our students to stay engaged because it's really critical that they do maintain skill development and work on their abilities as they move forward, because it's going to be more difficult as they transition into the next level, no matter what. Because like you said with Kim, it doesn't replace the face-to-face learning, and we all realize that. But as we move forward, we've got to make sure our kids stay engaged. That's the big thing. And when they're not engaged, we have counselors, social workers, psychologists, deans who are calling and contacting these students on top of their teachers calling them to find out where they were. Our attendance is pretty similar to our face-to-face. I mean, it's the high 80s to low 90s on a daily basis. We're taking attendance, we're monitoring it. We've got over 10% of our students are actually enhancing their grade, because we talk to our staff about the same things Governor Pritzker is emphasizing. This time, grades should be about feedback. Assessment should be about feedback, so the learner knows what they need to do to improve. You shouldn't be hurt because of this situation we're in. So those are the things that we're doing with our students. When you start to move backwards and decline, or you're not connecting, or there's something that gets in your way, we'll give you an incomplete. Our summer programs, we'll have a remediation summer program and also an enrichment for students who felt like, man, there's more I need to do to get better. And
is that online?
It'll be all online.
E-learning, really?
Our thoughts are we'll go online, and if for some reason social distancing and some of the prohibitions on large group gatherings are released, we can always go face-to-face, but we're planning on going e-learning first.
How in the world are you handling athletics? And by that I mean, what if I'm a student and I've got a star baseball player out there, or I've got a star football player, maybe more of the spring sports, I guess, a star track runner, an athlete. How are you handling that? How are they getting addressed to going off to a college that might want them to participate in athletics there?
This is devastating for our seniors. You've missed your senior spring season. The Illinois High School Association, the IHSA, canceled all spring sports tournaments. That's your track season, that's baseball, that's volleyball. I mean, for us, it hurts because we know the significance of connecting and networking with a group of peers in an athletic environment. So for that to happen is very difficult. The IHSA has also postponed all summer contact days for all athletics, which would be follow-up to spring sports and even the precursor to the fall sports, even some summer basketball contacts. All of that is ceased because of the governor's order, and then the IHSA took action to support that.
All right. Two other spring events that obviously are going to be impacted would be prom and commencement.
Proms have been postponed / canceled. We're looking for other opportunities. What will drive?
They're not going to just Instagram pictures of each other in their prom attire.
So yeah,
like they would have done anyway.
Our heaviest lift right now, the biggest focus, is a virtual graduation ceremony. The creation of e-diplomas and showing those across the screen and announcing students' names. We'll have a virtual ceremony first. When the prohibition on large group gatherings is lifted, we will then plan for a face-to-face graduation in person, so our seniors can elect to come back. If it happens before the middle of August, before students would traditionally go away to school, we'll do it. If it happens in September or October, November, we would probably use winter break when students come home. We want to still give the class of 2020 the opportunity to share and kind of shake hands and recognize the fact that they
That's what it's all
successfully completed. Yeah, it's tough. And it's very, that closure is very important for us.
I know since this all began in March, you and your peer sister school districts in the area have been working on food service. Is that still continuing on? The weekly delivery to kids under the age of 18 to be able to get meals? Are you still doing that?
Yes, this week we delivered over 22,000 meals. I think that our meals, the number was 22,834. And our 6-week total is about 115,900 meals. So between districts 4, 45, 48, and 88, we've got buses going around delivering door to door for our students who are in need, who can't, come to these sites. We're using all of our local elementary schools, our high schools, junior highs to just do meals. And each week it's a larger crowd, and I think we'll see that, throughout this pandemic.
Sure. Okay, a couple of things as we conclude now. Kim, let's talk about the end of the school year. I've got a Chromebook. What do I do with my Chromebook, and how does my kid get back to school to get the things that might be, in their desk somewhere in their classroom? Any plans for that right now?
So we actually have met this week as a leadership team, virtually of course, to start discussing end of the year procedures. We have some procedures drafted already, but we just want to review them. Once we have finalized those procedures, we will be communicating those with our families. We do anticipate that picking up supplies and dropping off Chromebooks will occur at the very end of the school year, most likely at the school sites. But once we finalize that, we will certainly send that out through our phone blast and our email blast and through our newsletter blasts.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, how about same question for Indian Trail? What about an 8th grade promotional exercise? Any thoughts on that at this point?
So we recognize that the 8th grade promotional exercise is a big rite of passage for our students. It's something that our families look forward to. It's a very exciting time as they transition into the high school. So we have started having discussions as a district leadership team with the Indian Trail administration to make some plans. Again, we don't have anything finalized, but we are certainly looking into different options for how we can hold that ceremony potentially after school year starts or after the lockdown is lifted.
Okay. And Scott, how about for you? Students need to get back to the school eventually to get things out of their lockers and get those beautiful art projects that are sitting down in the art rooms. I mean, has there been a plan put in place for when students might be able to get back into the building?
Obviously, we were waiting for the governor to announce, what's happening next, and that'll coincide with our plans. I mean, think about it, the big memorial piece that you get in high school, the yearbook. We've got to distribute yearbooks. We've got caps and gowns. We've got award certificates. A lot of our awards nights are being done virtually. Our art show is a virtual art show. So all those things are happening, but getting things to students is the big piece, and allowing you to come back and collect your belongings, allowing our teachers to come back in and collect their belongings. So all this, but the thing that is going to push us to the end of the year is we're still doing e-learning, so we really aren't collecting Chromebooks from seniors, and all the other classes will keep them. We're looking at online registration opportunities for next year too, thinking that in the fall, if we don't have large group gatherings lifted, how are we going to register all of our students, 4,000 students district-wide. So it's forced us to really look to be creative. And how do you distribute Chromebooks to 1,000 new freshmen? And
students,
so all this is things we'll be delivering right now. People want to know, May 17th, are you having a graduation ceremony? Yes, Willowbrook will be at 1 o'clock. Addison Trail will be at 3 o'clock. It will be virtual, but we're going to honor you. We're going to honor you. We'll do a live stream.
Yeah.
We'll use internet radio and live stream TV.
Well, good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Because it sounds like it's going to be a lot of work yet to come. Scott Helton, Kim Losey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We encourage you to stay up to date on official information from the Village of Addison by visiting the Addison website, addisonadvantage.org. From there you can connect to all the social media platforms, Code Red emergency notification, and the Addison Connected mobile app. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember to stay connected with your school websites also, as they will post their official information as it becomes available. Thank you to our guests, and we'll see you on our next program. I'm Don Weiss. Thank you for joining us.